after Christmas. We're
All right,
chilling.
everyone. Welcome back into another NBA DFS video. Have you guys covered here with the Saturday after Christmas slate here for you guys. A decent slate, kind of a fun slate because it's not too overloaded with games. And we have enough injury news to the point where we can make some pretty darn good builds. Chuck was just saying prior to us switching over live, I think we got some Sixer news.
Yeah, Joel Embiid is out, and Paul. Oh, it's for tomorrow. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Well, we do have a lot of news already, though, with the Suns. We do know that Grayson Allen's still out, so that's going to pick up some value. Cameron Johnson's out for Denver. Wagner's still out for Orlando. Suggs is out for Orlando. So there's a lot of like decent little spots that we can be getting to that I think are going to add up. And we do know that Bam is still out and Tyler Hero is still out for Miami. So that's creating a decent amount of value as well. So kind of a fun slate.
Yeah, it could be a good one. Hopefully, people are being lazy since it's the Saturday after Christmas and it's like the end of the year. So it's always Saturday. We always get good late swap equity on Saturday. So be sure to stay at your computer. It's only an hour between lock and the last game starting, so we can get out of here pretty early tonight.
Well, and college football is going on, NFL is going on. Like there is a decent chance that people are just not going to be paying attention after lineup lock as well.
Yeah, did you play Jaden Higgins?
A little bit, but also I overstacked, so probably not going well. I had Dalton Schultz and Collins there too, so we'll see.
Dude, overstacking was the way to go today. Quentin Johnson just caught a 60-yarder.
Did he?
Not a touchdown.
Okay, but that's interesting.
Yeah, that definitely helps. We got some lineups if Nico Collins is going to catch that ball today.
We'll see. I mean, geez, that's a weird game. And so is the late night game as well.
Late night game's going to be worse, so buckle up, fellas. I wrote the plug for today. If you guys are interested in looking at the NFL strategy, it's on the site. Sign up for the site. $7 a week. It's $1 a day. It's one of the best values in fantasy sports.
And speaking of pretty good values, we'll jump on into the Suns versus the Pelicans. And we are actually going to get, I think, some decent amount of values here. Again, with Phoenix, guys, they are going to be without Grayson Allen, Brea, Dunn, and Jalen Green are all out as well. And as we sort by the values, that was a good tease there, but literally we are getting some good values. Mark Williams, Gillespie, Dylan Brooks, Jordan Goodwin's popping up as a good value. All not too high owned, actually, on an 8-game slate. Maybe a little bit high owned, I guess, Gillespie there. Do you like some of these plays here?
I like Gillespie. It's so weird because he was in the winning lineup the last time the Suns were on the slate, and I don't know, he just produces as long as he's starting. Devin Booker is so comfortable taking a back seat to him and Dylan Brooks, so I still have interest in Dylan Brooks today. His ownership is a little lower, but I kind of jammed him yesterday and he killed my whole day, so I'm not doing that again. Mark Williams just exploded too, so I want to take GPP shots on him, and I think it's interesting how Royce O'Neal's ownership dropped so much after I don't know if he ended up being chalky yesterday, but he was projected to be kind of chalky.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Actually, I like going back to the well with Dylan Brooks, who just he had a terrible night shooting. 1 for 7 from 3, 5 for 12. Just not that good of a night shooting. If you give him a few more 3 balls, 6 more points, and it's not a terrible night for him. He's hitting kind of the floor that you would want. I kind of think that could be the opposite here, and I think he's somewhat appealing there.
Yep. Yeah, I don't hate it.
Are you trying to get to one player from that game, or is it just if you get to them, you're kind of okay with it?
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to if I'm lower on somebody, I'm probably not gonna try to rebuild to get there. But I'm getting enough of these guys right now. I don't think that's gonna change too much by lock. So sprinkles of this game seems fine.
The player that I actually got a bunch of was Jordan Goodwin. It might just be because he's shooting guard and point guard eligible, but I'm definitely at 20% compared to 8. So maybe I need to adjust that.
Dude, Jordan Goodwin he's been showing up so much in my lineups the last few days. Is he? Yeah, I mean,
he hasn't been good.
No, he hasn't been good. That 4,100 on DraftKings is interesting though. I don't mind that. And 4,700 on FanDuel, 4%. If you're gonna take a couple shots there, that's fine too.
He's someone that looking at prop bets consistently has been getting his unders recently, which is kind of double-sided. The fact that they keep putting those lines out there, higher than they probably should be based off his game log, kind of says that they expect him to have a good game. And even if we get 28 points out of him at 4.1, that's all we really need.
Yeah. Yep.
And then let's go ahead now and jump on into the Pelicans. So I don't dislike really anyone for them. At the same time, it always just kind of feels like a dart throw with everyone being active. Like Jordan Poole's kind of the most intriguing one to me, but also he's basically properly priced. Need him to have a good night shooting to like really do anything. Do you have anyone popping up for you?
I'm with you on that Jordan Poole call. I've been kind of interested in him as a GPP play. Now, if you go look at
Yeah,
his stats, he's shooting like 30% from the field, but he's taking 16 shots a game or something stupid.
exactly.
The usage is crazy, and so if he has a good shooting night, and he's capable of getting a couple extra steals, maybe some assists too.
Mhm.
So at 3%, I got 11% in my current FanDuel run, so that seems good to me. No more than 5% of anyone else here. I think Trey Murphy's always good to take shots on,
Yeah.
and then I think Nick and I were talking about Sadiq Bey. Maybe it was another host, but I don't know. I thought it was his team, but it's not.
Yeah, now with everyone healthy, he's kind of taking a back seat there, which is annoying. I do like that call though with Poole on FanDuel, like 3% own on both sites. Probably a better call to just be a little bit more overweight on him on FanDuel, and then you probably don't need to worry about him on DraftKings too much.
I will, yeah, with Poole, and then I will mention Sadiq Bey's FanDuel value is actually showing up pretty decent. DraftKings value
Mhm.
too. I mean, Bryce McGowan is the min price. He has the highest value score on this team on DraftKings at
Yeah,
5%. If he's starting, I guess we could look at him. But with Jordan Poole in, it's his minutes are kind of naturally capped. Is the problem.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that is. I didn't even really notice that with McGowan's good call. Yeah,
Yeah, he won
I
some
don't
on
know if that's
100K the
enough.
other night. No, it might not be. McGowan's had like the game of his life, and so
Yeah,
maybe we can chase that a little bit. But the min price, if it helps us build the lineup, as long as like he's starting, so we can project him for the 23 minutes that the model has him for, it seems fine.
yeah, and the forward guard eligibility is actually pretty appealing as well.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Those have been two really tough positions to fill recently.
They have. We'll jump on in here to the Denver versus Orlando game, a game in which it's okay. 4.5 point spread, 3 point spread, 3.5 point now, and then game total 236. So a decently high scoring game. Denver's still without Gordon and Braun, but also Cameron Johnson is out. And so with that, are you getting to anyone more like kind of because of that, or is it just kind of just same old plays that we want to be on are the plays?
I'm sorry, I got distracted by reading the chat.
Oh gosh, I know.
Unicorn, dude, shout out to your sister. Hope she's okay, dude.
I didn't catch that one yet. Oh boy.
Yeah, we're on Denver though. These guys look great. Jokic has a 100-point ceiling as he just displayed it in the previous game. He went off in overtime, but he already got there before overtime anyway, so it's not like he wouldn't have gotten there without that extra 5 minutes. Yeah, really love taking pay up shots on Jokic, Murray. I'm still going to be into Peyton Watson. He's been letting us down a little bit recently, and
Yeah.
it's kind of disappointing to see how high owned he is on FanDuel. But I'm still gonna go there. And then Tim Hardaway, did he start? He's been starting, I think, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. So I don't mind him as a value play when he's coming in at 5 and 6%. And I'll mention Spencer Jones too at 1%. I'm okay getting to basically everyone on this team.
Yeah, I second that. I will say I do want to be overweight on Tim Hardaway tonight. Just kind of looking at the per 36 production with all those players off the court. He was the one player that actually like did benefit. Some of the other players actually were a little bit worse, which I think could just be sample size not being proper just yet. But Tim Hardaway is the one player that benefited the most, and so I kind of like the fact that he's popping up as a good DK value. That gives me some confirmation bias to want to be overweight on him.
Yeah, and we don't, I mean, his value score is one of the best on the model today. We don't have to go crazy with him. Like, for example, if you're
Yeah.
playing at 20 max, you can play him in four of your lineups and you're way over the field. So don't make your whole day depend on Tim Hardaway, but he's a really good play at that ownership.
Yeah. Yeah, when I say overweight, I mean probably like 10%, which is still not too crazy.
Yeah,
We'll
me,
jump on into no, go ahead.
no, just me recommending 20% of Tim Hardaway when he's projected for five. I tend to do that. Just go way
No,
over on guys that we believe in.
well, yeah, I mean, no, that's fine, but still, like 20% is not like crazy a crazy amount. That's
Mhm.
still nothing too crazy. We'll
Mm.
jump into Orlando here. Suggs is still out, and so that kind of means Anthony Black is maybe appealing, although he's pretty priced up now.
Yeah.
Is anyone appealing to you for Orlando?
On the If we're looking at the model, Wendell Carter is showing up as a strong value every day. We've been talking about it
Yeah.
every day. He's low ownership. If you end up with a few percent, sure. And then Paolo seems like the pay up GPP play we would take a shot at. 9,800 on FanDuel is kind of really tough to get to, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if we're like stacking this game with a Jokic and Tim Hardaway, we can run it back with a Paolo, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not great.
No, I agree. We'll jump on into another game here. Honestly, I don't know. That's Orlando though. With everyone healthy, it's just, or with the Wagner's out, it's still like there needs to be two players out for me to really go crazy with them at those prices.
Yeah, there
We'll
are.
jump on into Atlanta here. So Atlanta, Trae Young is probable. I was wondering if he would play on the back end of a back-to-back here. Is there any concern that he's limited at all, like minutes wise, or is he just good to go?
I mean, usually if they're good to go, they're good to go. So if we don't
Mhm.
hear a word from them, I'm just gonna be pretty comfortable with giving him the 32 minutes that we have him for. His
Yeah.
price came up. He's low owned. I don't hate it. I'm still interested in Jalen Johnson, Joe, at that. Yeah, I mean his price
Yeah.
is uncomfortable on FanDuel, but why did he come down in price on DraftKings?
I don't know. I think that's strange. I think he's one of the easier clicks on the slate. Again, kind of looking at some of the other prop sites that do fantasy score, he's at like 50 plus in all of them. So
Yeah,
like I kind of like that as like a secondary source. It's just we're being told he's still a good play.
I have him for 56 today. I don't think
So
anyone in the industry projects him as well as I do.
so here we go. We'll just do this then for the first look build. I think he'll be the first player in. That's kind of how the Saturday streams have been a lot of Jalen Johnson too. It's just every single slate for some reason he's on them.
Yep, yep. We love Jalen Johnson around here.
Mhm. And then this is kind of an interesting shout out here. Agonku on FanDuel is a little bit higher price. That's interesting to me. Any thoughts there?
I wasn't really looking at him too hard, but I usually always have interest in Kongwu. We know he has the ceiling. Just randomly get 5 stocks and hit it against anyone. I got a decent amount. I'm over the field on him. Yeah, I like that call.
Then we'll jump into Unicorns Love's question here as well, just while we're looking at some comments. Tyus Jones is somewhat interesting, I would say, for Orlando. The data doesn't necessarily love him, but I would say if you're trying to get a value play, he's not terrible. Does feel like we're forcing it though a little bit.
Yeah, how many minutes did we have him for? Because the last 3 games he's
21.
played 21. Okay, he's played 20, 35, and 26. They lost to Charlotte by 15 last game, so 21 is probably a fair projection. He has the potential to play more, but if he only plays 20, like he probably has to overperform in those 20. So I'm not too big of a fan, but if he's like the last guy in type of play, then that's fine.
Yeah. We'll jump on into New York then. So for New York, we are actually kind of waiting on a piece of news that I think is somewhat important. Miles McBride questionable, and the reason I think that's important is because Josh Hart has already been ruled out, and so if he is out as
He's
well,
out.
then like I know Josh Hart is up. McBride though.
Yeah, we got it 1 minute ago. McBride's out.
Okay, so does that make Tyler Kolek more appealing to you or anyone
Oh,
else here for the New York Knicks?
oh yeah, even that day after he went off when he was coming off the bench, we just mentioned him. He's still low priced, low owned, and he ended up putting up a 30 something ball. It won somebody a tournament. So I'm definitely okay going back to him. Jordan Clarkson went off that day too. I didn't see what his ownership was though.
Yeah.
Um,
Could we get away with both of them? Because they're both
I,
cheap.
I mean, they won someone 100K 2 days ago, so that guy would
Yeah.
say yeah. I don't think the situation's too indifferent. Like, it's probably unlikely all the starters fail, and Kolek and Clarkson are the two guys that go off again. But their prices are. I mean, Kolek came up slightly. Clarkson's the
Mhm.
same, but I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to set the rule max one. I'm not going to get enough of both of them to like for
Yeah.
it to be a big deal. But I'm probably going to force in some Kolek today.
Yeah, the issue with Clarkson is he's very shot dependent, and doesn't have the best floor. But you're chasing ceilings anyways, so that's interesting. That could help out like OG a little bit as well. Like I really am intrigued with him on FanDuel. He is the chalk there. I would imagine he becomes even chalkier there, and even like Towns is too cheap on FanDuel as well.
Dude, I did not understand why OG came in at like 38% owned on Christmas Day, and we have him projected for 35 on FanDuel today. I know he's 6,300. The model's not telling us he's a good value, but he's not one of the best values
Mhm.
on the slate. I didn't get quite 35%. It
Yeah.
seems like a spot we could probably get a little bit less of him and be okay.
What What's interesting about him is he actually kind of looking at the per 36 production with those two off the court, he actually didn't benefit all that much with them off the court. So maybe
Okay,
not a bad call out.
that's good to know. I'm more interested in Mikal Bridges, but the problem is his price is much different over on FanDuel. We're getting him at a third
Mhm.
of the ownership though, so I do have some shots on him. And then, are you feeling pretty good about Cat and Brunson?
I'm fine with them. I would say like FanDuel, they might be a little bit too high owned.
Okay.
But I get it. I mean, they should be. It's a high scoring game, right? What is it, 244? So people are just chasing that. It's a close game, and so I get it. I think as we already have in our first look build, we're trying to get to Jalen Johnson first. So
Yeah.
if we end up getting to one of those as another pay up in that game, I think it makes sense. But nothing too crazy.
Okay. I'm just under what we have them projected for right now. I'm in the 20% range on both of them, so that seems pretty okay. I probably end up right around there.
Mhm. What is the expected lineup for New York with Hart being out? I mean, I would assume Brunson, Bridges, OG, Towns, and then that is a question. Would it be probably? I don't know. Actually, I don't know who'd start.
I can't think of who they started last time Josh Hart was out because I mean an option is Robinson, but I don't know that they
Yeah.
need two bigs, especially what they're going to put Cat on Jalen Johnson. That sounds like Jalen Johnson's going to have a day if they do that.
My initial thought was Robinson as well, but I don't think that really. I don't think that's going to matter who starts.
Like Clarkson makes sense because he fits position wise, but I'm pretty sure they'd rather have his usage off the bench, so all he has to worry about is scoring.
Mhm.
I guess Kolek is a candidate. I don't know. If it's Kolek, he's
Yeah.
going to be one of the best value plays on the slate because then even though his usage is going to be slightly lower, his minutes should be pretty good.
Yeah, I think Kolek either way is appealing regardless.
I like it.
Yeah. So we'll jump on into the Bucks versus the Bulls here, guys. So I'm under the assumption that Giannis is going to play in this game. We have him projected for 26 minutes. Obviously, if he only gets 26 minutes, that's really not enough there. But him being back really does make the rest of the Bucks plays all extreme GPP only plays, really risky. Anyone at all for you?
I don't think so, but let me double check.
Yeah, the only one I could see myself getting to is like AJ Green. We haven't projected for 27 minutes. Maybe he gets hot shooting the basketball. I just don't think we need to get there.
I don't have Porter projected as well as I have been, but I actually got a few percent of Kevin Porter. I got a couple percent of Giannis. He's fine. I don't feel great about him, but he's 10K going against Chicago, even coming off the injury. Doesn't seem bad. He's 7% owned on FanDuel.
Mhm.
26-minute projection is not good though. It's not going to get it done.
Yeah, we don't know for sure if that's accurate though. I mean, like just a player coming in off of an injury, I would probably say that's just a safe projection, 26. Maybe he ends up getting 20, maybe he ends up getting 30, but he's not going to get his normal run.
Yep, yep. And I mean, your point about everyone's kind of priced for Giannis to be out, so they're all technically overpriced with Giannis, and even if he's on a
Mhm.
minutes limit, I'll mention I could still have interest in Bobby Portis. I can't. I mean, it. They could just go right back to treating him how they were a couple of weeks ago, but hopefully he's been playing well enough to, still be the second guy here after
Mhm.
Giannis.
I could see actually Miles Turner benefiting from Giannis being on the court. I don't think it's worthwhile to mess with that. Like that's something you wait and see first. So we'll jump into Chicago. Josh Giddey currently questionable. If he sits, probably Kobe White becomes more appealing.
Trey
Haven't seen
Jones.
any yet, and yep, Trey Jones as well. I don't think we've seen anything on that. And what sucks is this is a later game, right? So
Mhm. I think we'll have
yeah.
enough exposure to that late window though that you know, I don't think we're gonna. Well, we're probably gonna want to jam Trey Jones if he's starting with no Giddy. Yeah.
Mhm. But we
That's
already have a
gonna.
lot of point guards that are appealing. Is my point.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation. What are you gonna do?
I I honestly don't know because obviously that does Kobe White and Trey Jones become very appealing. Trey Jones much more appealing as well. I'm probably just going to operate under Josh Giddey playing,
Mhm.
but could be worthwhile, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything pre-lock, but if we get Josh Giddey out, I'm pretty sure Trey Jones is going to jump up to the top of the model. And then, like you said, Kobe White's, I mean, he hasn't really shown it, but he should have that ceiling in theory.
Yeah. I mean, AO as well,
Mhm.
more of a FanDuel play where he's a little bit cheaper. Maybe gets 25 minutes instead. Javon Carter would enter the rotation, but we wouldn't be looking at him at all either.
I'll mention Kevin Werder. Could be an
Yeah.
unknown piece that no one wants to get to. He's only 4K on DraftKings. That seems fine. Probably not interested on FanDuel at 5,100, even if Giddy's out. But 4K is okay to take shots on.
Yeah. If he gets even like 5 more minutes, he's someone that kind of like AJ Green can get a little bit hot shooting the basketball and becomes appealing there. But we'll jump on into Cleveland versus Houston here. So Darius Garland listed as probable here, and then Max Strus is still out. 4 point spread and also a 235 game total. So kind of an interesting game here against Houston. No one is really high owned though at all. Everyone's very low owned here. Any leverage spots here?
Um, not anyone that super stands out for me. I think they're all just GPP sprinkles.
I agree. We'll get into Houston then. So for Houston, Sengun is out or questionable. Sorry, Sengun is questionable. If he's out, I do think it makes maybe some of the Houston players more appealing. Right now, Tari Eason is chalky. I would imagine that kind of updates actually. Oh, where are you at with Tari Eason?
100%. No, that's an exaggeration, but he is, as of now, I think he's going to be my highest owned player today. I jammed him
Interesting.
in last time before we knew he was starting. He ended up destroying at low ownership, and I think his ownership is actually pretty low today, assuming he's starting.
Mhm.
Yeah, love
That's
him.
interesting. Even with the value that we'll probably get with New York and whatnot.
Yeah, I have Tari Eason projected for 29 fantasy points at his
Okay.
price. And right now he's just showing up in like every lineup for me.
Okay.
And even, if I don't know, maybe he doesn't start or something weird happens, but I'll have those roster spots open to swap to other people in these late games. So
Mhm.
it's not bad if I go into lock with a bunch of them. I'm not necessarily going to end up with a bunch of them. I think I will, but it will give me
Yeah.
options either way.
And then if Sangoon is out, would we be looking at like Steven Adams and Jabari Smith to be a little bit more appealing?
Dude, I wanna make Jabari Smith a thing when Sengun is out, but I don't think he is. He really doesn't do
Yeah.
anything more. He does the exact same thing he does with Sengun, and so I like Jabari Smith in general. I'm interested in him even if Sengun's in at 3% ownership, as long as he stays around the 6K price. Steven Adams would probably become the best center play on the slate though if Sengun is out.
And then I'm looking at the price for Sangoon. If he does play, 9.5 is appealing. Any love for him there?
I don't know if I just don't like him or something, but this is never a guy I'm really interested in getting over the field on. Let me see if I had him. Like, I don't have him projected good enough to pay off that price today. So he's a GPP shot. If you mix him in a little bit, it's fine. But yeah, I'm not super into it. Model
Oh, I
likes
think
him.
that's the model does like him. Yeah, exactly. We'll jump on into Indiana versus Miami. So this is also an interesting spot, although we have seen this already for Miami with uh, Bam and here being off the court. They were chalky last night, and they're going to be chalky again. So, how many Miami Heat players is too many Miami Heat players? Because we have Ware, Powell, Wiggins, and Hawkes all being pretty chalk. I know we had some questions about Larson as well earlier on, so we'll get to that now. Um, how many are too many Miami? And then what are your kind of favorite plays here for Miami?
I didn't set the rule on the
Mm,
last slate that we had all that Miami chalk, and at first it was looking awesome, and then everyone just stopped
yeah.
doing stuff after halftime, except for
No.
Pele Larson. But I didn't get that many lineups with four Miami. If you are, I think I would want to cap it at three. Like these guys aren't super expensive, but they do kind of eat into each other a little bit. And I love Pele Larson. Model loves Pele Larson. He's coming in.
Mhm.
Like the ownership still seems fine, assuming he's announced in that starting lineup again, which I think he will be. Really like getting over the field on Pele Larson, and Khalil Ware is my top play from the other guys, and the model looks like it agrees there too.
Yeah, Ware's just too cheap for sure. I will say the only concerns that I have with like Powell and Wiggins is just shot dependent. Like they could have a gold night shoot and just be absolute bust. But if they just give us a normal night, they are both too cheap. One player that I got to last night, and it was just because I had to, and obviously with Bam and Hero being out, I got to Jovic there at 3.4. He's gained some ownership, but we only have him projected for 17.5 minutes. If he gets that, he's a tough click, right?
Yeah, he's a tough click. 17. I gave him 18, and I still didn't really get there.
Okay.
But I don't know. He would be like a deep, deep GPP shot on this slate. I think there's other
Mhm.
guys that we'd rather take shots on. I mean, if we're
Yeah.
looking at just on his own team, Jaime Jaquez and Wiggins, why did their prices come down on DraftKings? 56 and 53 is definitely wrong. It's probably
Mhm.
wrong even with Harrow and Bam in. So those two
Yeah.
showing up around 30% ownership seems really appealing.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I to me it looks like honest. Can I put? Do you like Larson there? Can I put Ware, Jaquez, and Larson in the lineup, or
I'm okay with that. I'll probably have I mean, I don't know what my single entry is going to look like, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was my single entry. Honestly, it might even have Powell in there too, so maybe I will have four Heat in some lineups. They're just
I
their prices are wrong.
I kind of think I'm just going to put Powell and then Jaquez in there as well because I just think that is the correct move right now,
Okay. Yeah.
and then we can adjust if we need to
Okay.
later on. Yeah, it's still a pretty appealing game too. Like it's a 7.5 point spread, but they're the ones projected to win. Could be a higher scoring game, but kind of just feels like the correct move. We'll jump into the Pacers. Um, Let me pull them up here. So for the Pacers, Jay Huff has been someone that's been benefiting with some of the bigs being out. Isaiah Jackson, Toppin, TJ McConnell's out as well. Aaron Naismith is questionable, and so um, any action here?
I forgot about Naismith, dude.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's insane. I have interest in Pascal at this price, but he's kind of garbage, right? Sorry, Pascal, no
Yeah.
disrespect. With Andrew Nemhard is a guy that I've been touting on stream every single time this team plays. He's typically under 10%, and he typically does it. Last time he put up like 20 in the first quarter, and then he kind of slowed down after that. But model's telling us he's not actually good value. Wow, that's disappointing.
I
Still don't
know.
mind Andrew Nemhard on DraftKings specifically, 6,300. 20% seems a little high for him though, but he looks fine, I think.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of talked yourself out of him there with
I
his
did.
ownership and then the value. It's just like, oh, never mind, can't play
Yeah.
him.
Let me see if I got any. I actually didn't even get any in my run naturally, so I'd have to bump him if I wanted to get any on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we got Absolute Power saying Giddy is going to be in, so that helps a little bit, and then Ware's in as well. So thanks for those shout outs there. That does
Nice.
help. And then what we have one more game, right? Brooklyn versus Minnesota.
Did
So
we
we'll
get to
talk about that.
Utah? Was Utah on the slate?
Oh
Utah,
yeah,
San Antonio.
we'll do that actually. That one's a little bit more appealing. I want to spend some time on that because De'Aaron Fox is out, but it's still
Yes.
a 15.5 point spread, which it is a high scoring game. But I was looking at this as well, and I'm like, there isn't actually anyone that necessarily does a lot better with Fox off the court, except for the player that's popping up as one of the best values, Julian Champagne here,
Mm.
multiple position eligibility as well. Not as chalky as I would have thought. Where are you at with him?
Champagne, he actually wasn't too. Let me make sure. I didn't think he was too on my radar. I was looking at Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle. I'm hoping Dylan
Okay.
Harper starts, I think. But Champagne is a pretty good call. Let me see. No, I need to bump him. I didn't. Oh no, I got a lot actually. Yeah,
Okay.
we're in on Champagne.
Are you worried about the minutes at all? Because like Castle, Vasol, and Harper are not really seeing a minutes bump with Fox being off the court.
I'm hoping Castle's usage goes up with Fox off.
Mhm.
I feel like I've been chasing Castle for like the past 2 weeks straight. I don't think he's had a single game that would win someone a tournament. Model says he's
Yeah.
okay. He's good value. He's not great value. But I like the field is going there. It makes it so uncomfortable. But I actually don't know if I'll be as high on him as the field is. But I really
Mhm.
like this team today, and I'm bumping up all the Utah guys, kind of hoping it stays close. Remember, 15 points is where we usually kind of draw the line for blowout potential.
Yeah, this is a weird spot because you would kind of expect Harper and even Castle and even Vassell to be somewhat players that will still get some run, like get to their, I would say like 3 less minutes than what they're projected to get if it's a blowout. So like relatively safe still, but it is a weird spot for sure with the blowout risk, because it could just be one of them. It could be Wemby going off and like Keldon Johnson going off the bench, and then the other players don't necessarily get there. Harrison Barnes was actually someone that benefited, but I don't want to mess with Harrison Barnes really that much.
I'm actually around 15% on Harrison and Keldon. And then I'm getting a ton of Vassell too. So the thing is, I'm getting a ton of these guys. The field is playing a ton of these guys. Usually this is a spot I would want to be over, but because the field is so on them with the blowout risk, maybe we can just play a little bit less of all of these guys, I think.
That's kind of where I'm at, but also it is risky because it is just such a high scoring game. But if it's going to be a game that we get to a decent amount of plays, we obviously have to find some players from Utah to run it back with.
Yeah.
We do know that Kevin Love is out, Ace Bailey's out, and Niang is still out as well. So it kind of does make the Utah players a little bit more appealing. Keontae George has been someone that's been going off. He's probably properly priced. Isaiah Collier is too cheap on DraftKings. He is someone that will get some run in a blowout. I don't know. To me, he's appealing. And then we do have Bryce Sensabaugh, who we got a question on earlier as well. He's kind of chalky, but looking at the DK value, I think we're getting better, similar price value, even in this game. Like Julian Champagnie was a little bit better value rating wise. So a lot of interesting plays, though.
I actually got so much Sensabaugh on my first runs. I had to knock him down, but we just got Sengun ruled out, which gives us Adams as another value play. So I bet a lot of the other value plays, their ownership should come down very slightly, because Adams is probably the best center play. He's just confirmed starting too. Eason's in the starting lineup too. So like I said, I'm going to be running a lot of Eason and Steven Adams today. Giddey is in as well.
Okay. That so I'm just for the build here, first the build, I'm just going to put Adams in there then. And
okay.
Could even put Eason probably in there as well if we move one of the. We'll do that. Is Larson guard eligible, right? I believe so. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to put Tari Eason, small forward. And then we're going to have a kind of a chalky build here, but also I think it makes sense. We might have too much salary left over.
I wonder what low-owned guy we could mix in. I guess we still have a. Do we still have a game though? Maybe there's a low-owned gem there.
Yeah, we'll jump into Brooklyn versus Minnesota here.
There is one.
It's a pretty chalky game. Pretty chalky slate. Brooklyn versus Minnesota. Not much love for Brooklyn. Do you need to spend any time on any of the plays here?
MPJ. It's pretty much it. MPJ. Nick Claxton seems okay to take GPP shots on. Really hard to get to at the center position though. But MPJ, as long as he's under 9K, I'm pretty much going to be on him every day, even with Cam Thomas being back. Not jamming him like I have been pre-Cam Thomas. I want to see how they play out a little bit more, but a guy that I always want to get over the field on.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you there. I don't want to spend too much time on them. We'll jump into Minnesota though. Terrence Shan's out. Rob Dillingham questionable. Not too crazy. I was actually hoping we'd get Anthony Edwards out with those two guards being out, and then we'd have like a very interesting spot for like Bones Highland and maybe even like Dante DiVincenzo. But no, they're Anthony Edwards is going to go. Mike Conley's active, so not too much here. Ownership is kind of showing that there as well.
Yeah, I don't. Let's see. Again, these guys are just kind of, if they show up a few percent in my lineups, I'm cool with it. I really don't see anyone here that we need to target. Gobert.
Edwards
maybe.
Coming in off of that Christmas slate game too. It's just like I'm kind of expecting him to have not a dud, but just not as good of a game. Obviously,
he probably cares a little bit less today.
Yeah, exactly. He seems like someone that's motivated for the primetime games.
Yeah, blowout risk, but like I said, I mean, I'm only playing a few percent of Michael Porter Jr. I guess Ant would be the target here if you were trying to target someone. Julius on FanDuel specifically, and then I guess Rudy Gobert on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm. We'll jump into kind of just the final thoughts here. I want to call it the viewership right now because we're about like half that we typically would for a Saturday, and that is mainly because NFL is going on right now. I can 100% guarantee that, and I think that talks to the point that we were saying earlier, where there's this could be a decent spot just where you're gaining an edge on the field just by simply paying attention and playing tonight. There's a lot of great plays here, and maybe some of the plays are higher owned due to people being lazy and just saying, all right, these plays are chalk, let's just play them. But also, we could see some plays that should be chalk, not be as high owned. Maybe like Sensible, for example, maybe he ends up being should be a little bit higher than he is. It's kind of an appealing slate for me in that regard.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to take my shots and hope that we get some end of the year run good. But the chalk is not bad on this slate, so it's kind of tough to just want to get away from all of it.
It is. Like right now, the best values, Mitchell Robinson is the best value. Then Ware, then Julian Champagny, Larson, Kolek. We didn't even get Kolek into our build, which
It's
is
fine.
interesting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Let's see here. I do want to finish this. So we do have 9.8 left over, and that's for the point guard spot. And I'm fine with Brunson. I think I would rather go like George or pay down for Kolek or someone like that, and then we could pay up elsewhere.
Yeah, if I'm going to pay up, it would be for Jamal or Brunson. Stephon Castle a pay up, we'd have to like change around something else. But if we're going for value, it would be Kolek or Dylan Harper, I think.
I'm fine with Harper. Is he still extreme chalk?
I have 70% in my current DraftKings run, so that's going to be fun trying to figure out what to do with him.
Yeah, I like Kolek a little bit more, but I get it.
Yeah, let's put Kolek in. We can save a few hundred more, and maybe we can upgrade one of those Heat guys. Powell.
Let me update what I said. So I like Kolek more right now as he's lower owned than Harper. I feel like they're going to give about the same output.
Okay. Are you expecting Harper to start? The thing is, I'm thinking about, do we even want him to start? We kind of like him off the bench with higher usage, I think, and the minutes will still be higher with Fox out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm more in on Champagny, honestly, than any. Like I'm more overweight on him than Vassell, Castle, and Harper. So
Champagny just got confirmed starting. Do we want to try doing something to get Jokic in here? Champagny is a value play, and then we'll.
But we have Ware and Adams, who are just like two easy plays at their price tag. I mean,
we'd have to take Ware out.
Or what are we hoping for Adams? 30, right? Which he probably will get.
Yeah, Adams, I think we need to look at him more as a salary saver rather than like a 36-point fantasy. I mean, he did do it in like 17 minutes not too long ago, but a lot of the time, I think Adams is just going to help us build our lineups. I mean, he can't really pull a Brook Lopez. Like Brook Lopez hit 9 threes last night. Steven Adams can't do that. But maybe he gets a few more minutes than expected. But I mean, my main lean on the Houston is Tari Eason anyway. So actually, if we get away from Steven Adams, I don't hate it. I was just thinking he would help us get Jokic in there a little easier.
Yeah, I would rather try to get to Jokic here. I know we have 3,000 that we need to find in salary savings, but maybe we get off of. I think we can keep Jalen Johnson. Honestly, we could get off of like Powell or someone who is too cheap, but maybe not as cheap as we could find elsewhere. Because then we have like 3.8 left over. Plenty of plays that we could get to there in that pricing range. Also, we could get to a 4.
Well, they're going back to Wemby in the starting lineup.
Let's see. I just want to update this one more time. We had a question about Capella, so I want to try to answer that.
Probably like 12 minutes.
Yeah, we don't have him just yet. Give it about 5 more minutes after the live stream. We'll have that.
Yeah, Capella will be a pivot option, I guess.
I don't even. Yeah, but do we need to even get there?
Probably not. No, I just bumped up Tari Eason one more.
Do we have a live stream for the NFL, the Showdown slate, or is that just the plug tonight for NFL?
Brian had the NFL video this morning. He did a Q&A for the 2-gamer, and then the plug has info for the Showdown. We're not doing a Showdown specific video, but I will be live tomorrow for the Sunday Night Showdown on this channel.
Yep, guys. So be here tomorrow for both the NBA DFS live stream, and then right after that, we have the NFL live stream. So we'll be checking you guys out there. That'll do it for this live stream. Any final thoughts?
No, just San Antonio starting lineup. Dylan Harper not starting. Interested to see if his ownership comes down. It probably won't. If it falls, if the projected ownership does come down, his projection comes down, I'm probably going to be a little more interested. I still have a ton right now, but it's an interesting one to think about. with the Spurs.
Yeah. Fun slate. All right. See you guys. Best of luck.